bond Tanzania and China. Kwenye wooden carvers market attracts tourists. Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBConline. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBConline. President Samia Suluhu Hassan and President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China witnessed the signing of 15 strategic agreements today in Beijing aimed at strengthening bilateral cooperation, trade, and investments between the two countries. Tanzania will receive a grant of 1 million renminbi, equivalent to more than 31.4 billion Tanzanian shillings, from China as part of an agreement on economic and technical cooperation signed between the two nations. The two heads of states also witnessed the signing of a draft loan agreement on the Zanzibar International Airport Terminal 2 project worth around $56.72 million. The agreements were signed during the historic visit by President Samia to China at the invitation of President Xi Jinping, where the two leaders held official talks. Earlier today, President Samia Suluhu Hassan met and held talks with China's Prime Minister Li Keqiang and agreed to continue improving various economic relations. On the other hand, President Samia Suluhu Hassan held talks with the Speaker of China's Parliament, Li Zhangchu. Tanzanians who live in China talk about Samia's visit in China.
This is a great opportunity to our tourism sector. It's a great step. When you look at the current world situation after Corona, our country have used all possible resources to contain and fight the disease. And it's obvious Tanzania has been receiving a lot of tourists. We should remember our president is the #1 tour guide not only in Tanzania, but the whole of Africa. We should remember the Chinese president has just started a new term, so this means she's going to make China give priority to Tanzania. Also, China is famous for its cultural tourism, something that we can emulate. We also have various tribes that have managed to keep their cultural attractions, and this opens door to many Chinese to go and visit Tanzania.
Moving on, the Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, says the implementation of the standard gauge railway project from Uvinza in Kigoma region to Kindu region in Democratic Republic of Congo, passing through Gitega in Burundi, will increase efficiency of using the free trade zone in Africa by strengthening the transportation of people and goods. Teddy Paranyanga reports.
Vice President said that while leading discussions with investors about the Standard Railway project that took place at the African Investors Forum in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, whereby he also added that the government of all the three countries have established an objective to ensure the implementation of the said project, in which Tanzania has already finished in terms of its implementation.
On the economic front, this project is part of the busiest gateway to and from the East African community countries as well as SADC market, and therefore provides opportunities in manufacturing, agriculture, tourism, mining, as well as trade for the landlocked countries in our region. And this project will unlock the potential of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area by facilitating the flow of goods, people, allied services and logistics through a cost-effective transportation mode in the region. But in addition, there is a ready market. Almost 50%, which is nearly 3 million tons of transit cargo through Dar es Salaam port, is destined to Burundi and the Democratic Republic of the Congo annually.
On the other hand, the Minister of Infrastructure of Burundi, Dukundane Dayodeni, has said that Burundi has been losing more than $17 billion every year when it comes to transportation of goods. Thus, this project will help in eliminating the problem.
My message is clear, is that without the standard gauge railway, we have been incurring a lot of losses. But with the standard gauge railway, we are going to get back all these losses, and our economies in general will benefit.
The president of African Development Bank, AFDB, Dr. Desina Kinwumi, has said that the bank has given its full support to the implementation of the standard gauge railway project, since it is important in Tanzania and East Africa and Africa in general in facilitating the growth of business and lifting the economy of the three countries.
This is a critical project for Tanzania. It's a very critical project for East Africa. It's a critical project for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And I just want to urge you to please fully support it. The Secretary General was asking me whether I had any other way of showing my support. I just want to answer and say I absolutely support.
The Secretary of Free Zone Trade in Africa, Wamkele Mene, says that doing business has always had its challenges and high costs. So he congratulated the government of Tanzania, Burundi, and Congo for implementing the said project, which will encourage business in the free trade zone and help to achieve the Africa Agenda of 2023.
The access to infrastructure is directly linked to boosting trade either in the region of Eastern Africa or indeed throughout the entire continent. And so we very much welcome this initiative. We congratulate the governments of the three countries for the vision. And from our point of view in the African Union and of course the FCFTA Secretariat, this is one of the ambitions of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want.
Thank you, Teddy Mparnyanga, for that report. Moving on, President of Zanzibar and Chairperson of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has asked the government of Sweden to encourage Swedish investors to come and invest in the country in the areas of energy and tourism in order to help the country to improve its economy. Anna Mosyoke has more.
Dr. Mwinyi made the call at the Zanzibar State House when he met with the Swedish ambassador to Tanzania, Charlotta Ozaki, who came for an official introduction. He explained that the government is currently looking at how to get investors to invest in solar energy, wind power, and other sources to overcome the challenge of not having reliable electricity.
It's a sector that we are, I would say, Zanzibar needs to be power independent. We are getting power from the mainland now through the submarine cable. And it is just supplying 100 megawatts, which we are on the verge of consuming the whole. So we very much need to have our own source of generation of power. And we are looking into solar energy, just for climate's sake, but also because we believe that with the climate, with the sun in Zanzibar, there's no reason why we shouldn't, embark, at least to start with, 20-30 megawatts just to start with, and see how we can extend in the future. We are getting a lot of investments now. There's a lot of investment in hotels. We are about to construct our biggest port here, so we'll definitely need a lot more power. And this is one area that we would very much want to see support in terms of grant or even loans through EPC plus finance. We know that there are some investors that might be interested to work with the government on a PPP basis. We are looking forward to that. So please convey the information to investors in your country. Those who are in energy sector, we are looking to work with the private sector because we believe there's revenue here and everybody will be happy to work with us along those lines. Yeah.
President Mwinyi congratulated Sweden along with various stakeholders and development organizations for supporting Zanzibar's efforts to improve its economy and requested the bilateral relation to continue. And the ambassador of Sweden to Tanzania, Charlotta Ozaki, congratulated Zanzibar for the great step reached in promoting democracy and respecting the principles of human rights. She assured President Mwinyi that Sweden will continue to maintain good long-term cooperation with Zanzibar and Tanzania in general.
The task force report is a sign of that, isn't it?
Yes.
And for us, Sweden is always underlining about democracy and human rights, and I think that this example paves the way for investors, for deeper cooperation with international partners, but of course for the development here as well, just as you're saying, for the citizens must make a difference. So, congratulations to that work.
Anna Mosioke, TBC.
Now let's move on to Iringa, where the Regional Commissioner Halima Dendego urges the researchers in the country to release their findings to the public and the concerned authorities instead of holding them. The Iringa Regional Commissioner made a call during the opening of the 3rd Mkwawa International Conference that was held at Mkwawa University College of Education in Iringa Municipality. Irene Mwakalinga from Iringa has more details.
Sharing experiences,
Speaking during the occasion, the principal of Mkwawa University College of Education, Muse, Professor Esther Dungumaro, said that the conference aimed at exchanging experience between the local researchers and international ones and discuss how to achieve sustainable development in all aspects of life.
I appreciate the continued cooperation that we have had so far for the mutual benefit, but also for contributing to solving international problems, global problems, through dialogue, sharing experiences, sharing these findings, and finally publishing the work from our researchers who take part in the conferences.
According to the Iringa Regional Commissioner Halima Dendego, the government values the effort done by the researchers in various fields, but would be more meaningful if the findings would be put into action.
Let us send the message to our citizens through media people, through seminars and conferences like this, so that your work can have an impact in the development of the nation.
But what does the conference theme mean to the general public?
Whenever there is a change, you're supposed to adapt those changes so that you can remain with sustainable development. Development should not be affected by those changes.
Earlier, the representative from the ambassador of Poland in Tanzania, Per Cruz, said that Poland will continue to strengthen the mutual cooperation between the Polish scientists and Tanzanians on improving the science practitioners in the country.
Tanzania is on the priority list of our development cooperation, and I think what's really important for the students as well, there's a possible to receive the full paid internship in Poland.
The Iringa Regional Commissioner Halima Dendego assured the Polish ambassador that Tanzania believes in friendly cooperation that can improve the welfare of the society for both countries. Irene Mwakalinga, TBC, Iringa.
Of the East African Cooperation States to work on the challenges facing the freight logistics performance sector by improving infrastructure trade within the region. Here's the report by Rehema Sebabili.
The meeting has brought together EAC stakeholders in the transportation and logistics sectors at the height of pandemic in EAC in and outbound. The executive director of the East African Business Council, John Kalisa, said that shippers have been experiencing many obstacles, including high shipping costs compared to Asian countries.
Currently, we are saying that it costs 1.8 United States dollars per kilometer per 1 ton. That's very high. When you compare it to Asia, it is less than $1. So it means EAC cannot be competitive when transport costs is very high. And when you bring it to production, it accounts about 30 or 40% of the cost of production. So our trade competitive hinges on transport and hinges on efficient of transport and logistics. So we need to address those challenges.
Supporting interventions like this, including dialogue between public and private sector to find solutions for the emerging challenges, the logistical challenges in implementing the adoption of sea freight, providing a platform for sharing of experiences.
On their part, some stakeholders in this sector have explained that poor infrastructure and conflicting policies among member countries have worsened the cargo transport sector towards landlocked countries.
There are still quite some issues on infrastructure. So what we also heard this morning was also a comparison, like the transport costs and infrastructure is in this region still quite above, for example, if you compare it with Asia. So that are definitely some things that definitely need to be improved.
We need to get to the bottom of the things and agree on what can be, how to make the supply chain efficient. That's what is missing, and that will be done by policy makers as well as the players in the industry of logistics and transport, engaging with the growers of the produce. Yeah.
During the period of 2019 to 2020, figures show that the container transport rate from Dar es Salaam port to Kigali cost around $3.6 per kilometer. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Sebabili, TBC News.
In other news, the government, through Ocean Road Cancer Institute, is about to introduce an advanced technology to detect cancer, well known as PET-CT scan. Ocean Road Cancer Institute specialist and director of medical services, Dr. Athumani Mseti, says the project is estimated to cost more than 18 billion Tanzanian shillings, whereby machines are expected to be received this month and will be ready for public use by January 2023.
Very nice investigation, because if you take a PET-CT, it combines two modalities of imaging: the anatomical, that is structural, using a CT scan, and the physiological imaging using the positron emission tomography. For other structures, you can easily see even a very small starting cancer can be seen if you are using a PET. Unlike the modalities that we have had in common, like a CT scan, plain CT scan, or even contrast CT scan, if you do an MRI, you can see the tumors, the cancers, but they have to be bigger for you to be able to detect. And it's even more useful for the cancer patients because it tells you whether the cancer has spread on. So with the PET that we are going to start doing to our people in a matter of a month or two, we'll be able to stage our patients very well. The PET will ease our work. We used to send people abroad to find out where the primary is so that we can make an appropriate treatment. With this investment of over 18 billion in the building and the machines, this country, the government of Tanzania, will be able to serve the people of Tanzania, plus our neighbors. So all of them will be our very potential customers.
Despite the efforts made by the government on advancing technology, Dr. Mseti adds that the situation of cancer in Tanzania is still bad and advises the citizens to avoid sedentary lifestyle and eat a balanced diet.
Of cancer in Tanzania is still bad. Actually, the burden of cancer is increasing globally. If you look at the global data of 2020, we are getting about 40,060 cases, new cancer cases every year. We always tell people that you become more prone to getting a cancer if you live a sedentary lifestyle. But secondly, avoid cigarette smoking. It's one big cause of cancer. If you ask a risk in 90% of cancer, tobacco is involved. Smoking. Avoid excessive alcohol. And when we speak of excessive alcohol, because we are saying you should get 2 drinks for a man or 1 drink for a woman per day. Most of the people in the bar, they don't do that. In these days, you'll find people full of 2 crates, 3 crates over the table. But also the way we eat, the dietary behavior that we have. We are saying everybody should get a balanced diet. A balanced diet is not meant for the sick people only. Even the normal individual should get a balanced diet.
The Deputy Minister for Internal Affairs, Jumanne Sagini, says the plan to feed school students in the region of Mara is a great example, as it has increased students' enrollment by 85% and reduced absenteeism. While launching Together We Feed program sponsored by the U.S. government in collaboration with the Tanzanian government, Sagini says the program has enabled more than 300,000 students to benefit in Mara and Dodoma region. Lucy Nyabange reports.
This special program named Together Let's Feed Them brought together stakeholders from the government and the private sector with the aim of helping students to do well in school. Deputy Minister Sagini explains the benefits of the program.
The season changed, and they could not, even when they farmed, they hardly harvest anything. So in actual fact, the situation at home in the Mara region, we have a serious shortage of food. So when you tell them they don't have food to eat at home, they eat once, and you tell them, please take the food from home to the school, what are they going to take? Maybe there is a need to reconsider that new outlook, that much as we want to build sustainability so that the community themselves will take the food from their homes to schools so that they feed their kids, but the reality on the ground is quite different. So we might wish really to look into what you have decided and what is actually happening in the ground.
And the Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Anton Mavunde, explains the government's strategy to ensure food and nutrition service in school.
Nevertheless, the World Food Programme, policy, and the research report from Food and Agriculture Organization recommend each country to have a school feeding and nutrition program. Moreover, the African Union insists that each member state should put an emphasis on the provision of food and nutrition services to students.
U.S. Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Gerald Bronan, has said that the program Together Let's Feed Them will be implemented in various schools in the country to benefit many students. That also the program will help to boost learning outcome for participating students that will open up opportunity in future.
The program has benefited more than 31 million children and families in 48 countries, providing more than 1.3 million tons of food and commodities and technical and financial support. So a lot of great work has been done, but certainly we have more to do. And the USDA program is implemented through strong partnerships between implementing partner organizations such as global communities, national and local education professionals, and agricultural producers in local communities. Instrumental to program success and a sign of our strong partnerships is the purchase of locally produced commodities for use in school meals.
Various stakeholders who attended the launch of the program congratulated this step and said it is an important step for the Tanzania.
We have a lot of benefits for this program, including improving attendance, reducing the short-term hunger to the students. Also, it will be helping attentiveness to the students during the learning process. So we are happy that the program will not only benefit the children, but will also benefit the parents and the communities around, because we'll be building capacities on how to take care of the children, on how to mobilize food commodities to make sure that they provide and they contribute to school.
Now let's move on to the tourism sector. Mwenge Wooden Covers Market, located in Dar es Salaam, continues to capture the attention of Tanzanians and people from different parts of the world. Teddy Mparanyanga visited the market to know why tourists are attracted to cultural crafts made in Tanzania. Here's Teddy Mparanyanga with a full report.
Sana, Swahili word for art. Today we're here at Mwenge Woodcovers Market, a place that showcases the arts and crafts of our Tanzanian culture. Tourists from different parts of the world come here to visit and buy different cultural items.
We took this opportunity to come and visit the local market and see what you have here that's very interesting about your culture, and get to know a little bit more about your country and the people. You're very nice, you're very welcoming, very warm-hearted.
And here is Frederick, a lawyer from Switzerland, who has visited Tanzania for more than 20 times. And now he has decided to visit the Mwenge Wooden Covers Market.
It's not possible to find this kind of craft in Switzerland or in Europe. And that's why it's very nice to see how people they make the craft.
In the process of promoting our Tanzanian culture, we all work hand in hand to advertise the beauty of our culture.
In this business, we deal with cultural items that originate from our Tanzania culture. I have been doing this business for almost 11 years, and I love it from the bottom of my heart. I would love to encourage my fellow Tanzanians to love our own arts and crafts.
I drive tourists around their various destinations. The main thing that we driver do is to advertise to the tourists what we have in Dar es Salaam. We tell them about cities, population, and make them aware of various attractive places that we have here in Dar es Salaam.
Everything you see here is a part of our wonderful culture, of the African culture, of the Tanzanian culture, a part of this beautiful city of Dar es Salaam. Come and visit such places, places that showcase our beauty, showcase our arts, our culture in general. Teddy Mfaranyanga, TBC.
Thank you, Teddy, for that report. That item concludes local news tonight. International news up next. And here is Nyambona Masamba with international news.
The former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan is in hospital after being shot at a rally. A gunman opened fire at a campaign show in Wazirabad district in East Punjab province. A gunman was within the protest march in Lahore to Islamabad to demand snap election. An official in Tehri Insaf Part said Khan was injured in a leg and is not in serious condition. And a core supporter was killed in the incident as several others were injured. Imran Khan was addressing his supporters in Wazirabad in his 7th day since he began his long march, also known as Azad marching, demanding snap election. The government has ordered investigation concerning the event. Shadanang Gurzar Khan, former National Assembly member, has the following to say.
I believe that Khan's soldiers, as they call themselves, each one of us is fighting a battle for the spirit of Pakistan. So until unless he gives the call, which he is not going to ever, because regardless of who dies in that battle, be it a Pakistani supporter of PTI, be it a Pakistani police officer or an army officer, they're all Pakistanis, and we do not intend to spill any blood. Enough. Pakistan has suffered enough through terrorism for the last 15 to 20 years in a war that was not of its own making.
That was international news. Sports news up next. Let us join Mario Cheto for Sports News.
Tanzania government is set to start the process of establishing anti-doping laws so as to improve clean sports in the country. Speaking during the closing ceremony of anti-doping workshop held in Benjamin Mkapa, the Secretary General Minister of Culture, Arts and Sports, Dr. Hassan Abasi, gave the Tanzania Anti-Doping Committee and the other stakeholders 14 days to start the law-making process immediately.
We can have more workshop and talk about the laws, but making laws is a process. We can't just take a briefcase and ask Parliament to make the laws. There should be drafted document and the process in the government. Yet we are not started making process in the government because documents are not ready. I give you 14 days to start the process.
Tanzania Netball Association Chairman Dr. Devota Marwa and other participants said the law will help to facilitate the implementation of clean sports in Tanzania.
Because if the policy is there and there is no law, it is like having a document which doesn't speak out. Now, having the law, it means we'll be having grounds to implement it. We'll be having grounds to commit people to whatever they are doing as related to anti-doping.
They have to use their own talents without using any stimulants or steroids for stimulating their muscles. So they need to be neat and clean in sports.
The 3 days anti-doping workshop has imparted skills and knowledge to sports leaders and other stakeholders, hoping that they will implement and make Tanzania clean sports country. Tanzania international boxer Ramadhan Nasibu is set to take on Toto Helembe from South Africa in East Africa title belt cruiserweight bout scheduled to take place on Friday night in Dar es Salaam. Speaking after the exercise, both boxers said they are well trained and ready to entertain boxing fans.
I had a big fight with local and international boxers, but I defeated all of them.
Promoter Levis Paul and the TPBRC representative Yahya Paul said they're about to bring Tanzania boxing into the international spotlight.
Invite all the boxing family in Tanzania, those ones who are in Dar es Salaam actually, to come to the Superdome to experience, I would say, a taste of how it's done out there. We are able to bring the Vegas in Dar, and we are capable of doing it, and we are doing it actually.
It's for them to grow their talents and also showcase their talents, but also it's an economical part of view into this sport, because this is professional boxing. They sign contract. There is an agreement between the boxer and the promoter that after the fight that they will be paid, and whatever the money they agreed to be paid, they will be paid, and it will be benefits for them, their families, and actually for the economy of the boxers in general.
Before the title fight between Ramadhan Nasibu and the South Africa Toto Helembe, there will be another bout whereby Shabani Jongo will take on Musa Ntenge from Uganda, and the Tanzania international Fadhili Majia will face Emmanuel Pledge. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Malio Cheto, TBC Sports News.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. I'm Faida Ngaga. Have a lovely night.